So one of those things that you're always supposed to do at the start of the year, indeed at any time, is to learn new things. So this morning, this is Friday ahead of Monday. This morning I had my 101 tutorial from Candice about how to use Twitter, because I've never used Twitter before, and it's one of the things that we said would be a good thing to do, so that as I go around meeting up with you guys, seeing what some of the things you're doing, we can get more of that out into the stratosphere. So I had my 101 tutorial this morning, and Candice's advice, she's taken on this new role of social media lead for us to try and help us get all our social media really whizzy over these next days. Well, one of her things was to think about celebrate, educate, and inspire as a sort of watchword for how we go about getting onto social media. I thought that's actually not a bad strategy for my sort of weekly message. So there's plenty to celebrate. The stories are starting to come back from people about just the enormous help there was over Christmas, how it helped people to keep that resilience, that watchword for us of the year. So coming back from the food banks, just extraordinary stuff there. Coming back from places, interesting places. So that there's a group called In Touch based at Lansdowne Church in Bournemouth, and they run what they call the chicken run a couple of times a week for food for those who are in temporary accommodation or rough sleeping and so on. And Claire and David did some great work earlier in the year, Claire, Holly and David, to get ourselves into there, to provide what we call a connection station to help people being linked on to, and if they turned up there without accommodation, they could easily get into linking in with St Mungo's or whoever they needed to get into accommodation. Well, the lady who leads there, Ellen, is telling us not only is Claire coming down regularly, but also St Mungo's are coming themselves to be there, which is something she's been looking for ages. They have someone now, a nurse coming down to help them there. They've got other organisations who are coming down on a regular basis. She's just overwhelmed by that dream of what essentially is a life centre happening and in one of our local churches. So that's just a great story coming back. And also some of the stuff in the background, it's good to celebrate. You can probably read that backwards, which is probably no good to you. But this is a letter that came into Sharon in Wimborne from one of the donors who we had written to, or indeed Rachel Begbie had written to before Christmas. Just a whole lot of letters going out. She really worked hard on this. And actually this letter's come back saying, so good to know how you're helping people in our community at this difficult time. Please find a cheque for 300 quid to help more people over Christmas. So great for our financial resilience, but it's great also to hear that work is paying dividends. So lots of good stuff in terms of to celebrate. In terms of education, well, as Claire Stonia sent out an email this week, there's a little parish notice there, which is about getting sick leave and your leave over Christmas up to date. But it's one of the things that we really need to do is to not just have great policies written down, but actually to know what they say. So there is a little piece of work which you can start to do, which links into the Breathe system, where you go and have a look, and there are some policies there to go through. Have a read through of them. Make sure you've got a good handle on what they're about. Maybe it's one of those things where you need to find your own favourite non-alcoholic drink and sit down with that for half an hour and just whiz through. Or maybe you want to do it with a colleague where you actually sit down and you split them in half and you explain to each other what they're about, so that actually you're helping to really make sure you've got a handle on them, an easy way of doing that. That's part of our internal resilience as an organisation. So we've helped resilience for those people who are facing need. We've got internal resilience for ourselves as an organisation. And of course, inspire was the third word that Candice used. And there are certain things that are coming up. So we've got the first part of our getting our visual identity refreshed and updated. So the little exercise, some of you have been invited to that. I can't get everybody there, sorry, but everybody will be involved in the stages of this work to get your views in after we've had that session this week. Just little things like inspiring people's own financial resilience. Derek Damon started to get into the college at last after many months of trying. He's been able to do some sessions now with up to 80 students to help them with their own financial well-being, which is great. Martin Williams, welcome. Martin's just started with us in the CMA team, and he's going to pick up some of the things that Claire Warner was doing, but also start to lead the team who are going to be working with Bournemouth Food Bank as CMA. So helping, again, more people to get financial resilience. And we have that links with churches, which is so important to us. And actually, we've got a new old church link in the sense that the Smile Gang, Lucy and Rachel, are going to be starting to move over to Skinner Street URC Church from very soon, for the next couple of weeks, for the Friday coffee morning that they have for lone parents families. And it's great, a new link, really encouraging. There's a bit of work to do to tidy it up, but it's great to get back in linked with a place that some of us knew from a long time back in FaithWorks. So all of these things are inspiring people for the future as well. Just the final point though for me is about inspiring ourselves and helping build our own financial resilience. And I was reminded by someone that actually it's a really good thing to write out blessings that you read, and particularly for me, I find the blessings from the Bible are really worth doing. And I found one this morning that was on my my little reminder, and it's from Romans 6 verse 22, and it's in the Message version, and it says, "You've discovered the delight of listening to God telling you." No, next bit. A whole, healed, put together life right now with more and more of life on the way. A whole, healed, put together life right now. That's what God is about in our lives. So that's a good thing to sing. I've talked long enough. Have a really, really fruitful week. And thank you for celebrating, educating and inspiring me in so many ways, and many others as well. Bless you.